Hello everyone, Commish K7 here with your final weekly recap of the entire SRG Fantasy Football season of 2019. Happy New Year everyone! We are now in 2020 and our league has completely finished. Our winner has been crowned, tears have been shed, celebrations have been had, every single thing is finally done. It's been a long season, but we've had some highs, we've had some lows, and you know what? Let's just get into it and see what happened. And you know what? Let's start off with our championship match. Let's turn this on, move myself down here. Drum roll, please. Whoop, that's not it. And well, in our championship match between the Sniper's Edge Darkstalkers and Pretty Boy Snow comes away with the victory. Of all the preparation I did, all the thoughts, few key mistakes happened, but in the end, Pretty Boy Snow takes this one. And it wasn't even really that close. 122.9 to 86.2. For I think this is my largest margin out of the 3 losses I've had this entire season. This may be my biggest loss, and it just happened in the finals. Tripping at the finish line. But he did what he needed to do. So yeah, Snow takes the championship. 122.9 to 86.2. Takes the title, takes the prize, and takes the bragging rights. So let's see what happened. Well, for Pretty Boy Snow, putting in Drew Lock. I will go into a bit more in depth because this is the championship match. For his quarterback, he put in Drew Lock, who did not meet projections. Good for the Darkstalkers. However, Saquon Barkley making that number 1 pick pay off with a 45.9 score. I believe that is the second or third highest point total of any player for the season. Well, actually no, it's definitely one of the top scores of running backs for the season, along with Christian McCaffrey's explosions throughout the season. Though it wasn't the top overall, but it was more than enough to really rocket into a victory. Austin Eckler did not meet expectations. A.J. Brown just beat expectations. Kenny Golladay, 18.6, beaten expectations. Hunter Henry, not meeting expectations. Giants defense with a -1. The kicker with 7. All of that equals the 122.9 score that he needed to win. And that's with Daniel Jones on the bench putting up a 45.3. That's with Philip Lindsay putting up 20 points on the bench. Matt Gay would have been a better choice with 10 on the bench. It wasn't even his best lineup, and yet he pulled off a strong victory. Even then, Buccaneers defense, 13 points on the bench. But that 45.9 from the number 1 overall pick pulls off that victory for him. Let's see what went wrong for the Darkstalkers. Well, Christian McCaffrey did not go wrong, putting up a good 33.3. Not as good as Barkley this week, but still really good and worthy of a starting spot. However, the rest of the team decided to suck. And with Leonard Fournette not meeting expectations, Keenan Allen not meeting it, DJ Moore getting a concussion on his first pass of the game with a 1.1. Jason Witten only a 3.4. Broncos defense 8. Aaron Rodgers started off slow. Midseason went crazy. End of the season not so much. Putting up only 5.3. The staples that made the Darkstalkers so strong did not come into play this game. And what makes it even worse, looking at the bench, there were more than enough players to pull it off. With Miles Sanders destroying Leonard Fournette's score, Devontae Parker would have been fantastic instead of Moore. Dallas Goedert or Tyler Higbee, both better options than Jason Witten. Ronald Jones II, better choice than Moore. Gardner Minshew, better choice than Rodgers. Title game comes, and the Darkstalkers crash into a wall. And and had enough points there to pull off the win, even if he started Jones. There were more than enough points on the bench to pull this one off. But what's done is done. Darkstalkers only managing a measly 86.2. I believe that is the second lowest score for the Darkstalkers this season in the title match. And Pretty Boy Snow taking the title for themselves. Taking advantage of the mishaps of the Darkstalkers and taking that title with a 122.9 score and the victory. Congratulations, Snow. You earned it. All right. Now that that's out, now that painful business is out of the way, let's take a look at the other score. We got Thiel and Chubby versus the Moneymaker Dollar Boys, with the Dollar Boys angry about their loss in the semifinals, taking this one 119.1 to 82.3. Let's see what happened. For Thiel and Chubby, we had some good scores. Devonta Freeman, 33.7. Julio Jones, 27.6. And 11.4 from Jacob Hollister. However, the rest of the team either went into single digits or negatives, with 3.9 from Kirk Cousins, 4.5 from Chubb, Adam Thielen, not feeling it today with a 0.2, and the Cleveland Browns with a nice negative 3.5 on their defense. Man. And let's see what happened for the Dollar Boys. For as good as the Thielen Chubby's running backs went, the Dollar Boys did better, with Kenyon Drake, nice free agent pickup, pulling out 35.4. Basically, he took the job away from David Johnson in like the final few weeks of the season. That was a great trade by them. And Michael Thomas, doing Michael Thomas things, posting a 32.6. Matt Ryan, 18. Not meeting expectations, but still the third highest point total on his team this week. And the rest of the team pulling in single digits, though not nearly as bad as Thielen Chubby. Let's take a look at the bench. Could that have helped? Well, Robert Woods would have been a better choice than Adam Thielen. Same thing with Sterling Shepard. Both some great scores. And Michael Gallup. All three would have been better options than Adam Thielen. Thielen Chubby putting in his namesake for the final week of the season did not pay off. However, for the Moneymakers, they pretty much put in their best lineup with some small exceptions. Like Eagles defense would have been a slightly better choice. Greg Olsen would have been better than Noah Fant. And that's about it. Dalvin Cook. That was rough. Losing Dalvin Cook in the playoffs. But Chris Carson carried him pretty well for the most part of the season. Unfortunately, did not show up in the playoffs. But the pickup of Kenyon Drake was gigantic. He basically won him third place. Third place and nice $20 prize. All right. Now let's take a look at the fifth place match with the Shaggy Sharks versus Greensburg Honor. With the Sharks taking this one, 92.6 to 71.1, getting the bragging rights for the final matchup of the season. Even though I think he took the matchup last week too, so I think it's pretty much undisputed. So let's see what happened. For Greensburg Honor, Delvin Hodges should have just stayed home with a minus 3.6. Along with a 0 from Derrick Henry, who sat out the final week of the season. Joe Mixon, not so good. Devontae Adams, though, did great. So did Austin Hooper. And Mason Crosby, 10 points, final week of the season. Can't complain with that from the kicker. Unfortunately, the rest of the team, not so good. Which is funny considering Tyler Boyd, the guy who keeps getting started but kept not performing, decided to perform when he was put on the bench with a 34.8. Along with Andy Dalton, posting his best week of the season with 38 points. That would have won it for him. Unfortunately, they're on the bench. And let's take a look at Shaggy Sharks. Aaron Jones continuing to dominate with 30 points. Travis Kelce, 21.4. Not bad. And Robbie Anderson, 11.2. Nice second half of the season for him. Let's take a look at the bench. Well, Randall Cobb would have been a better choice than D.D. Westbrook's 2.5. Danny Amendola, 4.1 would have been better. Dak Prescott's 9.3 would have been better than Garoppolo. There was a lot of... Honor could have taken this one, but management is part of the game. And putting in the wrong players in a very tight... The league was built to be very, very close where your choices mattered. There was no flex position. There was only 2 wide receiver spots. And certain stats were worth more than others. So management was a factor. So, unfortunately, a lot of points were left on the bench by both teams, but the Shaggy Sharks did a great job in what players they did start, and they got a 92.6 out of it. Rockin'. So, Shaggy Sharks take 5th place. And let's take a look at the consolation ladder. The 7th place game. Kid and the Grumpy Groupies take this one, 138.5 over Planet Hulk World Breakers, 85.5. Groupies going 3-0 in the consolation ladder, thus taking 7th place and getting a nice signed card from Chris P. Rockin'. Nice little finish out there. Let's see what he did. Well, everything went right for him. Because honestly, if the Grumpies made the playoffs, he probably would have won. with how well he did in the consolation ladder. His team came alive. So, let's see what happened. Ryan Tannehill, 24.7. Melvin Gordon, 22.7. Colts defense with a 29. Wow. 18.2 from Perriman. That was a great pickup. George Kittle finally starting and performing with an 18.9. As if he was mocking him. Doing well in the playoffs, but not in the regular season. Ezekiel Elliott, not meeting expectations, but still putting a 15.4. Nice job. Let's take a look at the World Breakers. Mahomes, doing Mahomes things with a 28.4. Tyreek Hill, 12.2. Not meeting expectations, but good. Marlon Mack, 18.1. And the rest of the team, mostly single digits with a 0 from the Bears defense. Overall, meh. But he lived by the Chiefs offense. He died by the Chiefs offense. And while this was a pretty average score, the rest of the team could not hold up. Let's take a look at the bench, see if anyone could have helped. Josh Allen, not good enough. Terry McLaurin would have been better than Hilton. And that's about it. Oh, Russell Gage would have been better too. Let's see. For the World Breakers, Goff would not have been better than Mahomes. Yeah. No, they'd be pretty much putting his best lineup. I'll give him that. So 85.5 was the best he was going to do. So, oh well. And let's take a look at the 9th place game. Yes, yeah, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10. Okay, Big Guys Gunners take this one, 119.5 over Metropolis Kryptonite, who was only able to scrounge together 57.1. Story of the season for the Kryptonite. Either absolutely exploding or crashing and burning. There really was no in-between for the Kryptonite this year. They were either Superman or Superman under Kryptonite. So, alright, let's see what happened. For the Gunners, we had 25.9 from Drew Brees, 27.3 from Mark Andrews, and 13 points from the Packers defense. Oh, and 30 points from Alvin Kamara. Almost missed that one. Alright, and yeah, rest of the team did average to okay. For the Kryptonite, though, not much went right. The only player in double digits was Larry Fitzgerald with a 14.8. And Will Lutz with 9 points as a kicker. Rest of the team, nothing to note. All right, take a look at the bench. Tom Brady would not have been better. Adrian Peterson would have been better than Laird. Yeah, he was put inside that starting role after Kenyon Drake left, and he's done jack squat. But then again, it's the Miami Dolphins, and their entire offense swapped from the running to the passing. After they got Fitzpatrick, I believe, and Devontae Parker decided that he wanted to play this year. So yeah, there's that. Le'Veon Bell would have been better than Laird as well, and Mike Williams would have been better than Lockett. That's about it. And for the Kryptonite, well, Derek Carr would have been a better choice at quarterback. Deebo Samuel would have been a great choice than Juju at 15.9, and Cole Beasley would have been 18.8. Stuck on the bench. his usual monster of DJ Chark, after that injury, he never really came back well, which is unfortunate because he was having one hell of a season and one hell of a preseason pickup. So, but either way, Gunners take this one 119.5 to 57.1. And our next matchup for the 11th place game is Parts Unknown Secchi versus Team Brooks. And Parts Unknown Secchi take this one with a solid 125 to Team Brooks' 89.2. Nice job. With Ryan Fitzpatrick of the Miami Dolphins posting 39.7. Let's see who else did well. We had Mark Ingram, 17.1. Very nice. And a 14.4 from OBJ. For Team Brooks, Lamar Jackson. The Lamar Jackson Show with a 36.8. Very nice. Along with a mid-season pickup of Jared Cook. Rocking it with a 24.4 at tight end. Nice. And Carlos Hyde with a 10.7. Unfortunately, the rest of the team decided to fail hard, with Chris Godwin not even playing. Jaguars defense might as well have not played. And Matt Prater with a 5. Those are our 3 lowest on the team for this week. And for the bench, yeah, Secchi played their best lineup. And for Brooksy, 18.2 would have been better than Montgomery. Damian Williams left on the bench. Kyler Murray, nope. Darren Fells, nope. Anyone else? Any wide receivers would have gotten better than 0 points. Well, what do you know? Taven Austin, that 1.5 on the bench would have been better than the 0 that was starting. So, either way, Parts Unknown Secchi take this one, 125 to 89.2. And our final matchup, the 13th place matchup of the Columbus Rebels versus Erie Cucaracha Roach. And the Rebels take this one, 88 to the Roaches, 71.7. Rebels do not finish in last place overall in the playoffs. They may have finished last in the season. They did not finish last in the playoffs. Rockin'. Roach, number 14 for this year. Let's see what went right for the Rebels. Mike Gesicki, 26.2. Great showing on the final week of the season. Golden Tate, 15.6. Todd Gurley, 16.8. Showing some shades of Todd Gurley of a couple seasons ago. But he was the best of the season and then crash. So, very nice. And for the Roach, we had 14.2 from Edelman, 17.7 from Tyler Eifert, the former Darkstalker tight end, after getting dropped unceremoniously, decided to come alive in the second half after Andy Dalton realized that he actually was an NFL quarterback. Unfortunately, the Bengals still suck. Unfortunately, we had a negative score of a negative 0.7 from Peyton Barber. No. Barber was not on the Darkstalkers. That was Ronald Jones II. All right, so let's take a look at the benches. Jarvis Landry would have been a better choice than Marquise Brown. Stefan Diggs would have been a better choice than Marquise Brown. Phillip Rivers would have been a better choice than Trubisky. And that's about it. And for the Roach, we had the Falcons defense. 10.5 would have been actually better than the 49ers. Even though the Niners still did all right. Kenny Stills, not good enough. Hopkins, actually better on the bench this week. Go figure. And that's about it. All right. There are your matchups for the season, and let's take a look at the standings. The final standings. Pretty Boy Snow taking the title, followed by the Sniper's Edge Darkstalkers. Third place goes to the Moneymakers. Fourth place, Thielen Chubby. Fifth place, Shaggy Sharks. Sixth place, Greensburg Honor. Seventh, we have the Grumpy Groupies. Eighth, we have Planet Hulk Worldbreakers. Ninth, we have the Big Guys Gunners. 10, we have Metropolis Kryptonite. 11, we have Parts Unknown Secchi. 12, we have Team Brooks. 13, we have the Columbus Rebels. 14 is the Erie Cucaracha Roach. Let me lower this a little bit. There we go. That's a little better with me yelling like this. And yeah, there you have it. That is our final standings right here. These stats didn't increase or decrease after the playoffs started, so is what it is. Let's take a look at the differentials. Points for, points against. These are the averages of points for and points against per game. The differential. Darkstalkers had the largest margin at 27.9 differential positive. Moneymaker Dollar Boys in second with 14.4. Sharks plus 12.4. Snow plus 10.7. Feelin' Chubby plus 3.7. And Planet Hulk World Breakers breaking in to the positives with a plus 0.1 margin. That is an even year. That's insane. But then again, yeah, 1319.4 to 1318.6 for our slimmest positive margin of the season. Now let's look at the negatives. Kryptonite minus 1.4 margin. Greensburg minus 2.1, the only playoff team to not have a positive number. While the Planet Hulk World Breakers were the only non-championship bracket team to have a positive. Let's see. Yep. Greensburg minus 2.1. Big Guys Gunners minus 4.7. Brooksy minus 6.1. The Secchi minus 10.4. Groupies minus 10.7. So that's kind of rough because he actually had a decent season. He was in the playoff until the end, but that minus 10.7, that'll do you in. Even though in the playoffs his team exploded. Well, the consolation playoffs his team exploded. All right, we got Roach minus 12.8 and the Columbus Rebels minus 21.1. And let's go into this final playoff results. There you have it. Pretty Boy Snow taking first place. Darkstalkers in second and Moneymakers in third. Check out the brackets. There's your bracket. There's your fifth place. There's your third place game. And we had our fifth place game of Sharks in Honor. And Sharks take this one as well and end up being in fifth place regardless. Groupies right there over the Hulk. Gunners right there over Kryptonite. Secchi right there over Brooks. And Rebels right there over Roach. Very nice. And you know what? I decided to do a little bit of math and a little bit of stat playing around. And we have our final records of the season. Yep, we have our final records of the season. Let me just scroll right there. Boop. For the overall total points for the Darkstalkers take the number one spot. And at the bottom we have the Columbus Rebels. Our top score for one individual week goes to the Shaggy Sharks because their week 2 score of 195.1 was not beaten. However, in the second half of the season, Greensburg Honor took the record for the lowest score of the season with a 39.3. For the points allowed, we had points for with Darkstalkers, bottom being Rebels. For the points allowed, who had the hardest schedule would be the Groupies, 1429.2 against him. While the lowest goes to Pretty Boy Snow with 1,167. For the standings in the regular season would be the Darkstalkers, and the bottom would be the Columbus Rebels and Erie Cucaracha Roach, both with a 3-10 score, or a 3-10 record. Number of moves, Grumpy Groupies take this one with 50 moves during the regular season, and the lowest would be the Columbus Rebels, who have only made 5. Individual scoring player for a week would be the week 7 performance of Aaron Rodgers with a 54.8. No one was able to beat that score. The biggest blowout was in week 2 for the Shaggy Sharks is 195 to Metropolis Kryptonite 70.7, a 124.4 point margin, which was not beaten in the second half of the season. The closest matchup, another one that happened early on, with Erie Cucaracha Roach versus Parts on the Secchi, with Roach taking this one 73-71 for a 2-point margin. No game came closer. So in terms of total, the best points for over points against margin was the Sniper's Edge Darkstalkers with a 363 point margin total, which would coincide with the best in terms of individual game, and the worst goes to the Columbus Rebels, minus 273.9 for the season. Now the best one, who had the highest points for, who ended up being in a negative ratio. That would be the Metropolis Kryptonite. They had a negative 0.4 points against ratio or difference, but they had the closest one, and they had one of the closest ones. Well, not as close as Planet Hulk, but they had the highest points scored while still being in the negative at 1377 for to 1395.2 against for a minus 18.2 margin. That's rough. When your team does that well, but you just keep getting stuck with some bad matchups, that's kind of how it is. And as I said, our playoff finish was Snow at number 1, Darkstalkers number 2, and Moneymaker Dollar Boys at number 3. So, there you have it. We are now officially done with the 2019 SRG Fantasy Football season. Those who played, thank you very much for a fantastic season. Those who want to join next year, let me know. I will do my best to try to get the league up and running as early as possible. And it's really, and if you guys can give me an early head count, that would be fantastic. Because it's like, this was a 14-team league. Because we had 14 teams interested, with, I believe, 1 or 2 interested after we all got it all settled. So, if we can get, like, say, 20 to 24 people, that would be perfect. That way we can actually do 2 leagues. If we get 2 leagues going, we can actually have some pretty good things coming out. A lot of good things bouncing around in my mind. A lot of good things bouncing back and forth between me and my co-commissioner Tim, who Metropolis Kryptonite. Both of us are looking for ideas. We're looking for ways to improve the league, and we're looking for more people interested. There are prizes involved. Yeah, it does cost some money to get involved, but if we get enough people, we can improve the prize. Like right now, the prize was just basically the cash reward. Everyone putting money in, great, and the prizes went out according to however much money we get. We get more people, we can improve the prizes. So right now, I think the first place got 200, second got 40, third place got 20, with the winner of the regular season getting their money back. So you know what? We get like over 20 people. I think we can make the prize for next year potentially be a create a character. Stay tuned on that. But for those who tuned in and stuck with me through all this, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you again next time. And may the rolls ever be in your favor. Peace. Well, for both myself, Sniper's Edge Darkstalkers, and my co-commish Tim, who ran the who ran the Metropolis Kryptonite, thank you. See you next time. Peace.